Okay, para sa part 2 ng lecture 3 for engineering economics, tuloy natin yung sa cost terminology. Sa next na cost na i-discuss is yung direct cost. Direct cost that can be reasonably measured and allocated to the specific output or work activity. The labor and material costs directly associated with the product, service, or construction activity are direct cost. Based dun sa definition natin kung ano yung mga cost na directly na i-apply natin or directly related dun sa paggawa ng isang material or ng service. So, yun yung direct cost. Ang pwedeng i-specify doon na yung labor, material cost, kumbaga kung ano yung mga parts nun, tsaka yung labor, kung ilang hours yung or ilang manpower yung kailangan para ma-produce yung certain item or product mo. And then indirect costs naman are costs that are difficult to allocate to a specific output or work activity. Normally, they are costs allocated through a selected formula, such as proportional to direct labor hours, direct labor dollars, or direct material dollars to the output or work activity. So, yung example natin dito, pwedeng yung mga tools na ginagamit dahil hindi naman siya kagaya ng mga common tools, marami kang mga product na pwedeng ma-produce doon gamit yung mga tools na yun. So, hindi siya talaga direct, hindi siya specialized tools. So, indirect cost yun. General supplies, pwede rin yung equipment maintenance. So, treated yun as indirect cost. Basta hindi siya directly ginagastos or cost considered na related dun sa equipment mo or dun sa product or item mo. Next ay yung overhead consists of plant operating costs that are not direct labor or direct material costs. Samples dito yung electricity, general repairs, property taxes, supervision. So electricity, hindi yun dahil sa plant mo naman, hindi lang siguro yung paggagawa dun sa product mo yung gagamitin ng electricity at saka dun sa iba pang example natin dito for overhead. Next ay yung standard cost. Are plant costs per unit of output that are established in advance of actual production or service delivery. They are developed from anticipated direct labor hours, materials, and overhead categories with their established costs per unit. So, ito naman yung ini-estimate mo kung magkano ba yung magiging cost mo per unit. I-relate natin siya kasama dun sa pagsasamahin natin yung indirect cost pati yung total na cost per unit output. So, because total overhead costs are associated with a certain level of production, this is an important condition that should be remembered when dealing with standard cost data. Ano siya, yung parang directly proportional kung gaano yung magiging overhead cost mo dun sa level of production. Gaya dun sa example natin kanina, yung electricity, pag mataas yung level of production mo, syempre mataas din yung electricity na mako-consume. Ganyan din dun sa repairs. Dahil kapag lagi mong ginagamit yung equipment, so tendency na ma-wear out yun. Yung property taxes, so ganun din. Sa tasing supervision naman, so syempre pag mataas yung level of production mo, mataas din yung pay for supervision. So matagal, pwedeng directly related to hours na sinupervise nyo yun. So i-consider din natin yun para makapag-estimate tayo dun sa standard cost per unit of output. Okay. Next ay standard costs play an important role in cost control and other management functions. Some typical uses are the following. Sa standard cost, pwedeng gamitin natin yon. So, estimate yun, no? So, estimate natin yung future manufacturing cost, measuring operating performance by comparing actual cost per unit with the standard unit cost. So, dahil kapag nasa operational cost ka na or operational phase, makikita na natin kung ano yung actual cost per unit. Tapos, i-compare natin yung sa standard unit cost. Kung yun bang ginagawa mo dun sa operational phase ay hindi siya efficient or meron kang mga nadadagdag na cost na hindi dapat. So, i-compare natin kung masyadong malayo dun sa standard unit cost na yan estimate mo. Next, preparing bids on products or services requested by customers. And then yung last, establishing the value of work in process and finished inventories. Yung next na cost na consider natin, yung cash cost. So, cash cost involves payment of cash and results in a cash flow. So, yung cash flow ma-encounter pa natin yan lalo dun sa time value of money. So, yun nga, payment of cash. So, may cash na involved. So, cash costs are estimated from the perspective established for the analysis under the future expenses incurred for the alternatives being analyzed. Next ay yung book cost or yung non-cash cost. Are costs that do not involve cash payments but rather represent the recovery of past expenditures over a fixed period. So, example ng book cost ay yung depreciation charge. Yung pagbaba ng value niya over a period of time. So, yung depreciation, na-discuss din natin ito sa next lectures pa. No, kung ano na lang yung value niya over a period of time dahil nag-depreciate yung equipment natin or nababa yung value niya. And then, pwede natin yung magkakaroon tayo ng salvage value at the end of its economic life. Discuss pa natin yung mga yan. Tandaan lang na pinagkaiba ng cash cost at book cost. Yung cash cost, payment of cash. So, yung book cost naman, so wala siyang cash payment. Nagre-represent lang siya dun sa pwedeng value ng isang equipment over some period of time. Next ay yung sunk cost. Sunk cost has occurred in the past and has no relevant to estimates of future costs and revenues related to an alternative course of action. So, example natin for sunk cost involves replacement of asset. Suppose that your firm is considering the replacement of a piece of equipment which originally cost $50,000 is presently shown in the company records with a value of $20,000. So, yung value na yan kung ano yung magiging may-aambag kumbaga ng equipment na yan dun sa production sa company mo. And can be sold for an estimated $5,000 kung ano yung kung ano naman yung present book value niyan, kung ano yung value, kung gano'n siya pwedeng ibenta. For purposes of replacement analysis, the $50,000 is sunk cost. However, one view is that the sunk cost should be considered as the difference between the value shown in the company records and the present realizable selling price. According to this viewpoint, the sunk cost is $20,000 minus $5,000 or $15,000. Neither the $50,000 nor the $15,000, however, should be considered in an engineering economic analysis, except for the way the $15,000 may affect income tax. So, yung sunk cost, hindi siya ini-include dun sa engineering analysis. So, yun yung main takeaway natin dito. So, kahit check pa natin kung anong difference daw, no, ang sabi dito, pwede mo i-consider yung $50,000 yung sunk cost kasi yun yung past decision mo na binili mo yung item na yun sa ganong value. Or may isa pang view na yung sunk cost pwedeng yung $20,000 minus $5,000 or yung $15,000 lang. Yung difference lang yung value dun sa company record. Saka magkano mo siya pwedeng ibenta. So, $15,000 lang. Kung bagay magiging loss mo dahil dun sa pagkakaroon mo ng equipment na yun. Okay, next ay yung opportunity cost. So, incurred because of the use of limited resources such that the opportunity to use those resources to monetary advantage in an alternative use is forgone. Thus, it is the cost of the best rejected opportunity and it's often hidden or implied. So, gaya nga dun sa example natin kanina, nakalagay dun sa record ng value ng equipment niya is 20,000 pero yung present market value niya is 5,000 lang. Ang i-analyze natin dun kung ano yung present market value na 5,000. So, marami tayong ma-encounter nito lalo dun sa topic natin na depreciation. So, tandaan natin yung mga na-discuss ngayon. Yung direct cost, indirect cost, overhead, standard cost, cash cost, book cost, at saka yung sunk cost, pati yung opportunity cost. Next, i-discuss pa natin sa next part ng lecture natin, yung iba't iba pang cost. Meron pa tayo yan dun sa life cycle cost, investment cost, operation maintenance cost, saka yung disposal cost.